And welcome to the Inside Star Citizen Review. Happy Thanksgiving to my family. I'm spending some time with you. Wow! I have to change this alert. It's so disturbing. Here's your Happy Thanksgiving alert from Killian. Thank you. Thank you. The gold bar popping up to 184. Thank you. We are going to be upgrading here.
Times are hard over here too, but get yourself dat gear.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Killian. We are collecting money right now for stream upgrades. The audio will be even that much more professional. You guys are going to hear ASMR DG very shortly as soon as we collect the funds here, and we are going to do some serious upgrades on audio, maybe even some videos. So just keeping you guys tuned in on what's happening here on the channel. And now, the Inside Star Citizen Review. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's chill out and let's have a good time, and let's see what is in the cards for us today.
One of the big roles in both real-world life and in Star Citizen is cargo hauling.
We've got lots of different ships in the game, and plenty of them can carry cargo, but we don't have many that are small and dedicated to cargo.
And this is where the ARGO RAFT really comes into play.
This might not be bad.
So the Reinforced Advanced Freight Transport from ARGO is a two-player cargo transport ship.
It's a very beginner sort of vessel. It's got limited cargo capacity, but it's designed purely for the purpose of trying to transport your goods from A to B.
Okay, so they're defining the ARGO RAFT as a beginning transport vehicle. Now, here's my question: what is the SCU capacity on the ARGO RAFT? Do we know what the beginning this beginner hauler carries? Is it worth it? 96 SCU. And then what was the price tag of this ship? Do we know the price tag of this ship as well? Because that is something that we should all know, you know, because you need to break these down. Like when it comes to freighters and transports, you should take the dollar average and you should divide it by the SCU, and that will give you the idea of the true value of a freight ship. So 125, yeah, okay. So when you guys are doing this math, this is something you should all do as traders and industrialists, especially at this stage. If you are pledging and want to pledge to the project, which I highly recommend, you know, over 400 million now. Some people say no progress has happened. I see tons of progress. Been covering this for 5 years. I'm seeing Elite Dangerous share price from Frontier Development drop 40% while they are disconnected with their audience. I see Cloud Imperium being super transparent, doing a hell of a job with production and upping their game, reporting a profit. You know, I'm seeing so many positives come out of Cloud Imperium that to me, it makes sense to, this is a front runner. Cloud Imperium, Star Citizen is a front runner and will continue to be a front runner. Anyhow, as an industrialist, I think what's really cool is you take your ship's SCU, right? And you take the money it costs and you break it down and you divide that out and you see what it is per SCU per dollar. And you just figure out what the average is. And that might help you decide, you know, what type of industrial ship that you want to go for. Heartsy says, I want the ARGO SRV for recovering crashed or abandoned ships to take my curable for repair, resell, or keep. I think another thing that's really cool, Heartsy, that I'm looking forward to is the Crucible, which is a repair type ship as well. Oh, look at this, man. Razor, good to see you, buddy. Thank you. DG's little alien hands. Thank you so much. I'm going to be working on new alerts next week. It's going to be really cool. Let's keep going.
Keeping you as safe as possible.
The ARGO style is a strong style. You kind of know what you're going to get, and I think that's what helps really sell the ship's feel.
It's slick.
The rear
looking.
half of the ship is definitely very contrasting to the front. I feel like one of our designers put it best when they described it as essentially an oil rig with engines strapped onto the back of it.
Very Drake.
The raft is primarily Argo's counter to the Freelancer.
Obviously, the Freelancers are far better equipped weapon-wise, but the Argo is far better in the armor capacity. It's not going to do well in a fight because its weaponry is quite small. It has a remote turret that the co-pilot controls that has size 3s on it, and it does have 2 size 1 slots that the pilot can equip something in, although it doesn't come with those weapons as standard. The ship itself can take up to 96 SCU and 3 32 SCU cargo containers that are held on the back of the ship. So at the moment, the cargo containers are actually a fixed part of the ship until we actually get the cargo refactor, at which point you'll then be able to remove them. There are other ships.
The compatibility is what I like about Argo. You know, like what's planned in the future for Argo is the way in which the ships are all designed to be compartmentalized. I love the design of Argo in that respect. Very utilitarian with Argo, and it's not all for looks. Although I would say I don't mind the looks of this. I think it's kind of neat looking, actually.
Ships that are going to use external cargo like the Hull series, but the first one that'll actually go out into the universe will be the Raft.
Yeah, Auburn.
It has dedicated VTOLs that rotate to give it that extra lift, regardless of what the atmosphere is in the planet you're trying to take off from. It's going to be able to actually get out there even in the more heavy atmospheres.
They might make external cargoes more limitless. Says I hope the external cargo is not going to become the norm, or like the normal for design is what Limitless is trying to say. And I think it will only, like, you know, we saw it with the Hall originally, right? Limitless, you know what I mean? But with the Hall, you can kind of understand why they did it because of how massive the Hall is. The actual amount of weight that ship has, it just makes sense that the Hall would have it on the outside. But I think you're going to see a little bit more of this Limitless, but I think you're only going to see it with certain manufacturers. I don't think everyone's going to adopt this kind of design, and I hope that not everything is going to be on the outside as well, Limitless. So I do agree with you there, but I do see this kind of compartmentalized design happening more and more and more as we go forward, and I think it's a form of revenue that they're gonna make. Where what we saw with the Tally, you know, what they did with the Tally, that's gonna be like the norm in ship design, where you're gonna be able to have like different form factors, different interiors, and they're just gonna have that in like DLC type content where you're pledging for like different versions of a ship and kind of rearranging design. And I think that will kind of be the norm. I think that will be the norm moving forward. But as far as like the design on this particular hauler and other haulers in the future, I don't think you're going to see like all of the cargoes being on the outside as we do here. I think you'll see that a lot with MISC. I think you'll see that a lot with Argo. I don't think you'll see a lot of that with Drake. I don't think you'll see a lot of that with Drake.
It has my own independent landing gear, the legs, the typical Argo legs.
Yes, that would be cool,
regardless of the terrain that you're landing on. As you go inside the ship, it's split into
this
two
is not a very
areas.
well armed ship, Killian. You're right.
The functional side and the side for the crew. So the functional side consists of the bridge.
It's very simplistic design. I appreciate simplicity in my industrial ships. I don't think Argo's that bad of a manufacturer.
Airlock, which has got ship-to-ship docking collar on it.
In terms of real life 20, yeah. The only reason it would, like 2010 brings up a good point too. He's bringing in like the outside world design into the game, into the design of the game, and he's saying, "Hey, I don't think that for containers." He goes, "I think for containers it is the norm. Look at trains or trucks; it doesn't make sense to cover them. In terms of like profitability, in terms of like compatibility, 20's somewhat right. But like and what Limitless is saying though is like." He feels Limitless. I feel, and excuse me if I'm speaking for you, Limitless, but I understand where Limitless is coming from. He feels like cargo is more protected in the interior of a ship, like having a large bay that's inside the ship is more secure that way. So there's a lot of different ways to look at that. perhaps you're not able to make as much profit because you're only limited by the interior space, right? And with exterior, containers, you can actually increase it, as we see on the Hull, as we see on some other ships. You can increase the profit, but then it's more vulnerable to attack as it's not inside the ship per se. So that is a really wonderful argument. It's a really wonderful debate to have. What's up, Con? Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Cargo control cab that's at the rear of the ship that gives you a nice view out onto the three.
Soriel's a pirate. He's like, give it to me.
The side for the crew consists of habitation, which has a nice chow line, a seating area for you and your teammate to relax.
Yeah, this is another great point here where Plastic Fantastic is saying this ship isn't meant to travel. Its main role is to load and unload the Hull class ships. But I heard, and I could be incorrect, that this has one of the largest quantum jumps that you can. This particular ship has the longest range in terms of quantum, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not quite sure. That's something Execute from Inforunners could maybe help us out with in terms of like its range and the amount of range that this particular ship has. This is something that I've heard on the grapevine. So that is one thing to think about. But that's cool to think that there will be ships that will be able to service other ships where you're able to fly around the hull, attach and detach containers from the hull directly. It's a whole new way of thinking about unloading and loading. That's pretty cool. Auburn says, I can see pirates themselves using this to quickly unload cargo from ships when they do raids. Yes, think of the gameplay there, right? When you're trying to jack a ship and you're bringing in these ships to kind of take boxes and just literally peel them off the ship, man. That is amazing. That is amazing. Taco says the whole thing isn't per the official documents. What they said was it was designed for quick in and out of cargo transfers. But theory crafting this idea is fun. The theory crafting this idea is absolutely fun to do, because just talking about this, if the ship isn't designed to do that, then they should absolutely make a ship that could do that. And these types of talks are talks that we had in 2015, 2016, even 2017, where we theory crafted the hell out of it. And a lot of the ideas that we had came to fruition. So I love theory crafting. People that say that theory crafting is a joke, those people don't have any vision. Those people don't have any foresight. Those people are just people that read from a script and have no imagination and no creativity. So if you hear people that say theory crafting isn't important, just, take a giant shit on their heads. That's what I say.
As well as individual beds that double function as an escape pod in times when you might need it. As well as a fully fitted armory for 2 people that has 2 suit locker spaces for each of you.
So we got lockers.
As well as weapon racks, and of course a bathroom.
I think the interior kind of was really successful in making sure that every space has a function. No matter where you're sitting in the ship, it feels like a functional ship. It feels like the ship has purpose.
It's a very simple design.
If you think about the real world and how you want to transport goods, if you want to be in and out because that's your job, that's your profession, you don't want to have to open up your ship and let someone come on board and mess about. You just want to drop your actual goods and then move on to your next job. And that's something that the raft will allow you to do.
Yes.
The reinforced armored freight transport from Argo is the latest straight-to-flyable vehicle that made its debut at this year's...
And they're focusing a lot more on armor. You guys notice that on with ships with the Redeemer, and they're talking beefy ships. They're talking about more armor type, oriented ships. I'm seeing this. Hopefully Argo adopts a very heavy standard armor package. I want a lot of the ships from Argo to have an immense amount of armor. It just seems like Argo armor should go hand in hand. I feel that way. I feel it.
Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And if you haven't seen it in action already, you can do so now by jumping into the persistent universe. But up next, another ship making its highly anticipated debut at this year's event, the Ares Starfighter from Crusader Industries.
A lot of times you need a ship for
Here we go, John Crew. I love it. Like in his personal life, I feel like there's going to be something where he's like very angry, like, kids, I'm filming right now. I love John Crew, man. He's awesome. We had a fun little drinking game last Inside Star Citizen with the Ares Ion, where we had to guess the amount of shots that it would take to kill various types of ships that I'll put up on the channel this week or this weekend. And man, that was a fun game.
For a very specific purpose. Ultimately, sometimes you just need a big ship with a big gun that goes. A ship with a big gun that goes. I don't think it even sounds like that anymore.
Slow-mo section. Slow-mo section. We have a slow-mo section of the show. And we are going to do the slow-mo section now. And here we go. Pepe, if you would, please, if we could do the playback in half-speed slow-mo. Here we go. Wait, did we miss it? Hold on. We missed it. Hold on.
A ship with a big gun that goes. I don't think it even sounds like that anymore.
All right, that was a very good section to slow-mo. Thank you for people in the DG360 community, man. You guys, I almost forgot about the slow-mo section of our Inside Star Citizen review show. That was a perfect section for the slow-mo. That was a perfect section. You know what? I think we need to even go slower here. Hold on one second. Yes, hold on a second. Yeah. I think we absolutely need to slow this down even a little bit more here. Hold on one second.
Ship with a big gun that goes. A ship with a big gun that goes. I don't think it even sounds like that
All right. That's enough, Pepe. We've had too much fun. Get us back to normal. Back to the show. That was good, guys. That was good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you all.
The Ares Starfighter is the premier single-seat fighter designed to take on larger threats.
The first time I remember hearing about it was, this is, single-seater, size 7 guns, capital ship killer, and it was like, that's going to be fun. Because it is a single-seater.
We might do that, Vegna. That's a good idea,
really
too.
Want it to be surrounded by your ship.
Section of the show.
And when, one of the first things we do is, any ship that kind of kicks off is make sure we're agreed and happy with our enter-exit animations. We knew that we needed to.
Okay, here's the thing with the Ares Ion. Like, I love what it's able to do. And first, the gun got nerfed, and then they ended up putting it back to normal because so many people were upset that we got back to the stats that were, I believe, the original stats. I'm not quite sure, but I love the skin on the Inferno. That's my deal. I think the Ion has a more important role than the ballistic version of it, which I believe is the Inferno. I'm sorry if I'm getting that incorrect there. Though is that the Inferno is the ballistic model, and So I like the black paint from this. So I'm hoping the Ares Ion I could put like a black paint on because I just think it looks much more menacing.
Have ladder access.
This is the ballistic
we needed
model.
to kind of make sure it will work from an animation point of view.
There are two variants of the ship. One with a ballistic Gatling called the Inferno, and
the
one
Inferno.
with an energy cannon called the Ion.
Good.
And these
Plastic
really
says there's
cater
3
to
additional
how you
available.
want to take down these larger ships. You have the ballistic Gatling, which is capable of punching through shields and damaging items under the hull, and then you have the energy variant, which is designed to really attack shields and sort of melt things.
Yeah.
On both versions, you get a different feel, but in your peripheral vision, you're out the kind of the right hand side of your cockpit. You've just got the massive barreled weapons. So there was a little bit of kind of like back and forwards, making sure the barrel length felt right,
That is
and
insane.
making sure the animation speed and that sort of stuff all kind of like
They did a
works
good job.
nicely together when
They
you
did a
were
good
sitting
job
there as
on
a pilot.
this.
Because when you unleash these things, it is a
Good question,
unique
Auburn. Not
experience.
The gun itself is an integral part of the ship and cannot be swapped out, so that gives you that choice between those two variants.
Oh, that is
Do I
super
on the
cheap.
ballistic one,
If that's
which
all it is, Taco.
has higher
Look at that
DPS
thing
or damage
rip.
per second,
Dude, how much damage per second? Hold on a second.
which has higher DPS or damage per second,
Oh, he doesn't say
but
the number.
limited ammo, or do I go for the
That is badass. That is going to be the thumbnail. This is going to be the thumbnail for this Inside Star system.
Ion with its energy cannon that essentially has infinite ammo, but a lower
It's a
damage per
wonderful
second.
design.
On the
It's why I have
energy
Crusader as
version
my
of the
second
ship,
favorite
got the
manufacturer.
additional
Drake,
cooling
Crusader,
and all the kind of
Anvil.
everything that the
Crusader and Anvil are
larger
my top.
weapon needs,
are
and then on the ballistics,
tied
you've got
for
the
second
additional
for
kind
me.
of ammo area, ammo
4,700
storage area.
DPS.
So it really does require, yes, it's the same underlying chassis, but it really does, it is two separate versions depending on which weapon is your kind of weapon of choice. Visually, I think what the Ares Starfighter brings to the game is the sense of intimidation. There's few other ships that you're really going to be scared of that are much, much smaller than you in our game. And I think the
She's fucking
Starfighter,
shredding that
if
up.
you see one of those, you kind of need to run.
That was my no spot got very excited on that.
It's going to be really interesting to
piece of
see
footage
how
here.
the dynamic changes of the in-game events such as Xenothreat and Ninetales when players have something of this caliber on their side instead.
Ooh.
So what did we learn about this week? Well, we learned that the Freelancer has a new competitor in the recently introduced ARGO RAFT. That there's no one way to say when it comes to building a spacecraft around a massive gun like the Ares Starfighter. And that superstar concept artist Gav Rothery sure does know how to create good-looking spaceships. He did it with the Raft, he did it with the Ares, and he's got something
It's a good
special
idea,
coming
but I
up
think
on
it's
this day,
a
so be
little
sure to
too
come
much,
back next week and
Turbo.
check that out.
Hey guys,
And don't forget the
listen to me.
Intergalactic Aerospace Expo continues.
The IAE is going great. We're getting different opinions and views from new players and Star Citizen. We've been around for a long time. Some of us, we're old dogs, we're veterans, but some of the new bucks coming up here, seeing like their opinions, and some of the gals out there like Kate, like we're getting to see their reactions for the first time of the IAE, and it's really cool to see what's going on in the community. It's so cool. That's what we're kind of focusing on the channel lately. I've got a special surprise for the giveaway this weekend. St. Grizz actually had a great talk with him, and we are going to be adding something to the Spartan giveaway, which is coming up. So we have a Spartan coming up, and then something amazing that you guys are not going to believe that's going to be added to the giveaway from St. Grizz. Also, Tripal adding something as well from his company, Predator Mounts, which is super generous of him. And just want to thank you guys. Awesome
There's
time
a free
today.
flight going on, as well as new merchandise in the stores while supplies last. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
All right, good stuff.